Check. This is Random Urban Memories, brought to you by the Rum Boys. You've seen, heard, or felt it on the streets. Well, we're here to talk about it.
In 3, 2, 1.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and we are back in full effect in 2019. Rocking it fresh, rocking it nice, and rocking it fly, I guess.
Yeah.
Nobody uses those words anymore.
No one.
Guess what? We have a bigger team assembled here, man. This is like the Avengers. Assembled, except without superpowers.
We have superpowers.
Or sponsorship. So
all of the Avengers died, so they just found like cheaper version.
Poor man's Avengers.
So we got a couple of people here. The usual crowd. We've got David, we've got our Katrina,
Vicky.
And now we've got a very dear friend of mine, James. That's what's up.
Hi.
Welcome.
I feel very welcome here. And yeah,
don't feel
good.
that
It's
way.
been a long time coming.
No, it's only first 5
It's all
minutes.
an illusion. You guys hate me.
You're going to do our voiceovers from now on.
It will be just big cutovers of us, and then James just doing us. It's
Yeah,
like,
talking.
so David, what do you think? It's like, so I think with the Eastern European accent.
You'll have your work cut out for you now. As I said, this has been the start of a new year, and I think it's a good idea to just give a little bit of a year in review for all of us at this table.
Absolutely,
See how it's been, things that you've heard and you might have seen or felt, because we're here to talk about it. Tagline: listen to us everywhere. Yeah, so
Yeah, it's crazy. Like 81 years till year 3000.
Say what?
And
Did you just work that out?
oh, sorry.
Yep.
Can you hear me better? Cool.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Sure, 81. Mad.
So guys,
That's crazy.
Oh my god, it is.
So guys, 2018 has been a fantastic year, I think, for me, and a fantastic year for all of us. So I think maybe starting off on our lovely podcast of 2019, Shane, you have to go through your year with us and tell us exactly what's been going on and what's enticed you and what you've loved and what you've hated. So give us the download there of what's going on in your 2018.
All right, okay. I'll give you just a couple of bits. One of which, for me, was apart from making a new baby within 2018.
Baby maker.
Which we can't wait for.
Yeah, it was actually, believe it or not, it was actually working on this podcast because, as you know, we've been growing, we've been getting better every time, and, with the bits and pieces, but I've been learning more and more about sound production and sound engineering and editing and video editing and all that kind of stuff. And all of that came as a realization because I don't have any particular hobbies apart from maybe a bit of gaming or building PCs or whatever it is. And it actually turns out that I enjoy this way more than I thought. It was my wife that said to me, do you know what? You're putting so much effort and time into it. I think you're enjoying it more than you think.
Absolutely.
Because it didn't bother me, the amount of work that I was putting into it, quite simply because of, I was just really enjoying and researching and checking and just all the mechanical bits
It's a
and
lot
pieces.
of technical parts.
Yeah.
And it was the first time in a long time that I think I discovered a new hobby. And that was a big realization for me because, like I said, I didn't particularly have one, So that actually meant a big thing for me. And obviously this is part of it. And that's why it's just only going to get better. It's only going to go up.
Absolutely.
So thoroughly looking forward to that.
So from the whole personal enjoyment side of it, you just you're learning as you go along, basically, which is fantastic because I have to commend you on it. You've started this from literally scratch and you've been totally learning as you go along, and it's been phenomenal for us. Myself and David, definitely.
It's
I know
fun
James
as hell,
come in
man.
as well for us on this one. It's been brilliant, and I'm so happy to be part of this. It's fantastic. So 100% commendment to you, Shane, on this. And all the listeners out there, so represent and keeping it real.
We couldn't do this without you, listeners. Yeah.
Yeah.
And your support.
And your support.
Let's name them all.
Let's lay all of our
Shouldn't
family
take us
members.
too long.
So I'll go to David and ask David, what was your epic 2018 all about?
I think for me it was like just finishing up with college finally after just getting the master's degree. because it was a long.
Congratulations.
Thank you. It was a long ass freaking way and ride, and it was
Yes,
just.
we know, because you kept cancelling on us.
Yeah, I just kept canceling on all of not only you guys, but I also kept canceling on like a lot of stuff. So now it's just getting back into the normal balance of life. I think, just getting more relaxed with everything, and then and then just progress with jiu-jitsu. I got my blue belt also, so which was like I was really happy about both two things. So just
you say blue belt?
It meant blue
belt. Is it, what
it's the second.
The second. Okay, cool.
So you have like white, blue, purple, brown, and black, and then further up. But like those are like grandmasters. Yeah. I was really happy that those were my two goals to get in like 2018, and I got them both. So
amazing personal achievements.
Oh yeah,
personal achievements is brilliant. Unbelievable. Yeah.
Now, just need to figure out what will be next.
Yeah, I was just about to ask you that. What's next for the David world?
I don't know.
What domination are you going to do in 2019?
I don't know. Making babies, freaking buying houses, Lambos, and I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. Whatever our podcast brings, and no, I don't know. It's just like I think it's time to make this shit happen. So I don't know. I don't know exactly what it is. I keep thinking about stuff, but just don't want to jinx anything, and then just we'll see.
That's very cool.
Yeah.
That's very good. So I'm going to welcome James to our podcast this time, and thanks for coming in with us. From coming in this evening, I'd like to ask you about your 2018 and what's been your epic part of 2018.
Okay. Well, to be honest, my 2018 has been. It's hard to explain because a lot of my 2018 was actually recovering from a condition that I had in the previous year. And it took a lot of time to get back after work. I was off work for a long time, and I was on some medication that my body became addicted to. So most of my 2018 was pretty much just like, for want of a better word, just chilling. But like in a very,
which is a good thing,
but in a very therapeutic kind of sense.
Okay.
And and looking back now, like it was definitely much needed, and I managed to get back into the swing of things and to work and that, and not much else I can really say about my 2018 because it took up so much of my year.
Okay.
But it was something that I had to concentrate on to even be here now.
Wow.
To even be here in this room even on a Saturday night, like I wasn't going out. I couldn't.
Yeah.
I couldn't function in the old way that I'd been for years. Like, so actually now that it hasn't even occurred to me that this is probably the first night that I've willingly come out and just relaxed and chilled with a drink.
Well, you're very welcome.
And it just hit me now. Actually,
I hope you enjoy being with us.
And was it like physical or like mental?
It was a bit of both, but mainly mental. I'm not going to beat around the bush. It was mainly anxiety and a lot of stuff that hit me with anxiety and it's a crazy thing. Like actually, don't want to go onto this subject, but basically, you'd see a lot of things on Facebook or like awareness about mental illness, mental health, and you kind of just go, unless you know someone who's had it or you've had it yourself, you can't really understand. It's kind of like that old thing about. Come on, just sort of snap out of it, And I think we've made huge improvements in and everyone's much more aware now that you are actually ill, like you are genuinely, even though it's invisible. And it's
the good thing
enlightening.
The good thing about 2018, I think there's been more awareness about mental health.
Exactly, yeah.
And there's been a huge jump.
It has been.
I think from multiple angles, and it's great.
And I do think that's fantastic. And I think 2018 was a year where we were more adaptable to a lot more things that have been, taboo, if you want to call it, like mental health.
Sure.
The whole, I'll kind of go through my 2018 in a minute, but the whole women coming into the likes of, you know, the Me Too thing and more open to talking about your mental health. I think it's fantastic. So congratulations, and
Cheers,
that's fantastic.
Yeah,
That's
it's
really,
good to have you here,
really,
man.
really cool.
Good to be here,
Cheers,
yeah.
and enjoy.
Cheers
and,
to that.
Yeah, and thanks for
Cheers,
thanks for-
guys.
Yeah, cheers.
It's always a good thing.
It's always a good
First
thing.
podcast that we drink, actually. Oh.
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
talked
Is that
about it.
water?
talked
I
about
can't
it.
cheers water.
no, it's vino.
it's vino.
Vino.
sweetie,
It's
it's
vino with water.
Vino. So I suppose since you guys are not going to ask me, I'll tell you about my 2018.
Go.
Okay, so my 2018 was, I kind of looked at it from a point of view where, like yourself, had gone through the anxiety and the pressure at work and stuff like that. So I have had a very fun-filled, music-filled 2018. I've been to see an awful lot of bands. I went to a lot of concerts, a lot of gigs, really immersed myself in the whole music side of my life that I'm very in love with. And I suppose one of the best things I'd done last year was I went to see Other Voices down in Kerry. I went there for the weekend. I had a fantastic weekend. I met a lot of lovely industry people, seen a lot of artists, got to sit in RTE's recordings of the Other Voices, which will be on TV soon. And just had a really nice time meeting loads of new people. And I think 2018 was meeting new people and
Getting out there
and enjoying my hobbies. Like Shane was talking about his hobbies and his whole setup of this podcasting. Well, for me, it was more kind of writing, and in terms of enjoying my writing that I do on a music side, because I would be very music based sort of a person. And get in touch with old friends again and enjoying, you know, the friends that, oh my God, enjoying my friends and coming to see my close friends. Like
The positive energy.
yeah,
just
Hold it, guys.
starts
there's
to
something happening here.
So
It's
much
a
for me
yeah.
working on this.
So it was a positive year. I look at it as a positive year,
Oh, yeah.
and I had a great year. And
Great.
and it's now 2019, and I'm so happy to be with you guys again in this lovely journey that we're doing on the Random Urban Memories, and are talking different things that we're going to be going throughout the year. So there's loads of
You can
packs.
say shite.
Yeah, you can say well, you see, I come from the background where we don't curse on air. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, it's been fantastic. So here's to 2019 with you guys. So I'm looking forward to it.
Peace.
Yeah. 2019.
I know.
It's crazy.
I was on Facebook. 1999 was 20 years ago. Let that sink in.
People who were born in 2001 can now get into nightclubs.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Let's not talk about being old, guys, please.
They might have babies already.
Man,
Oh, man.
it's just how quick it goes by.
Yeah.
It's like come to terms with your age. It's like, okay, you can kind of like get around.
Yeah.
It's like, okay. But oh my God, like
Oh, yeah.
the older you get, the quicker time just
Yeah.
goes.
Flies.
Starts to go, yeah.
Yeah, it's mad.
So this is why I think 2019, I would say for all of us, you just immerse it and enjoy it. As
Exactly. Make the best of it.
Make the best of it.
Yeah.
Honestly,
Yeah.
make the best of it. And that goes for our lovely listeners out there as well. I think it would be really exciting to tell our listeners just to make the most of 2019 and just enjoy it. I think good changes are happening for everybody. So, and Shane has a lovely baby on the way. So it's going to be,
There you go.
It's going to be epic.
The Antichrist.
It'll be
Whoa, boom.
it'll be a beautiful Antichrist.
Beautiful. Yeah, absolutely.
So, coming on to the thing about 2018 in general. So, we've talked about some interesting things that we've been doing and that we have seen and experienced. But has there been any sticking points in 2018 that stuck with you in terms of global news or major changes that have gone on or anything like that that stuck with you? That you're kind of.
I kept thinking about it the whole day
of 2018.
I kept thinking about it the whole day because Shane texted us in the morning. It's like, wouldn't it be cool if we could talk about like ourselves and then about something like that just happened in the world. On the way here in the car, I just kept thinking, I'm like, who died this year or last year? It's like who like really like made like, you know, like someone who left us, who left like a lot of like a legacy and stuff like that. And I couldn't and I couldn't come up with anybody. So I was like thinking about it like the whole day, but it's just It must have been something, you know, like there were like movements, you know, we were talking about the Me Too and all of this stuff, but I think that it's usually what happens with me is like if someone just passes away and then you are like, just think about it and you're like, fuck, like this person was like there, like you never knew them, but you were just kind of like so used to knowing that they are there. Mm-hmm. There's just now you are just cannot comprehend the fact that somebody left and they're not just, there will be nothing new from them. You will not see them and stuff like that. So I was hoping somebody would Google it, but it's fine.
Someone poignant did die.
Because like 2017 was like a lot of people just like.
Are you talking about like Prince, Hawking?
Yeah. Was it 2018? Like fucking Hawkins, right? Yeah. Hawkins.
Stephen Hawking.
This is how much of an influence they were on us.
Prince Hawking. Is that the same person?
That'd be amazing.
No. But no, even like fucking Prince. Like Prince was like fucking genius musician. Like if we can say so, you know. But it's just crazy, like how much shit, you know, we just don't fucking realize how much they contributed to us.
Well, Hawking being actually one of those points, because it's incredible what he had done to further physics and astrophysics and in the background. But it's just not something that we come across daily or in our daily lives. But it does touch us in our daily lives because it helps physics in other ways that helps technology or that helps mechanics or engineering in some shape or form, or understand it at least, or brings us further. Yeah, like quantum entanglement, that kind of thing. So that's an influence that you won't feel maybe for a good long while, apart from the blessedness of education and the imparting of knowledge.
I think also too, the DJ Avicii passed away in 2018, didn't he?
Yeah.
And I think from a mental health point of view, I think that was quite poignant for a lot of people that are in their 20s as well, to realise, you know, obviously the lifestyle that he had, the touring,
seems
the
perfect.
The extensive touring, the everything that he had, and you know,
like I watched the documentary about it, and
was it good?
Like you can just it's sad, but it's good.
Yeah, really.
I don't think that it's only for like young people. It's even for like anybody.
Well, it tells a story.
Like when you watch it, you just kind of like think it's like, just don't make, because it looks like some like other people are making decision about him. Just to do like, let's do fucking, if there's a 365 days in fucking year, let's do fucking 700 shows. You know, then it's like he just caught up. Like for example, you don't see any family around him. You just see like friends and all of these people who are around him. So it's like, it sounds like they were making decisions and they were pushing him to like a lot of shit that he didn't want to do. Yeah. But like if you would have a family around you, like a proper base where you can just go and say, look, I just have these problems.
A support network. Yeah.
Like, I don't know, someone from your family, like your mother or whoever, would just say, it's like, just stop. Just stop doing it. Yeah. Let's say you are on drugs or something. Like someone needs to come in and kind of like reality check you. But it didn't seem that it happened there.
Which is very sad.
Or it might have happened by the end. But you can see him just going through like,
they were just feeding the success, whether it was good or bad.
Like he was physically sick.
Oh, really?
He was physically sick, and then it started to get into mental issues.
Right.
He had like something like with stomach or something like that. It was just because he was drinking a lot before, and and it's just fucking like he was. Imagine every show he was in pain. Every show he was in pain.
Crazy.
Yeah. And then that's why he got like kind of like a hiatus.
Yeah.
Between like two albums, and then the last album was kind of like his last one. But it's it's sad. And you could see like when he passed away, it was just freaking crazy. Like a lot of young people were kind of like
affected by it.
It was like just
no one saw that coming.
What? Like
no one saw
why?
that coming.
Like why would you take your life when you are famous, you are successful, you got money, you got this, you got this, and everybody thinks it's like, oh, this is what makes people happy, but it's apparently it's not.
It's not.
So it's just 2018 culture. It is like when somebody looks at Instagram, you go through your timeline and you are like, oh yeah, this is it. Like this is how happy, successful people look.
Well, I have to say as well about 2018, I think it was the year that I really noticed everybody is glued to their phones.
Yeah.
Everybody is immersed in their online life. Everybody, you know, and that includes me as well. Like, you know, we're all part of it. You know, where did it go of us, you know, sitting, talking and having dinner without even picking up the phone and put it in your pocket or turning it off and being with your family. And technology has so taken over everything that it's, you know, like your phone is listening to you, your phone is listening to you. You know, my mic is turned off on my phone, so I don't get that. But at the same time, you know, these little random things that you have in your daily life, it's coming up on your phone, it's freaking you out. Do you know, where's that going to go? How is 2019 going to, you know, are we going to change? Is there going to be some sort of different sort of outlook on it? You know, you just see it everywhere. Everybody's glued to phones. Everybody's just immersed in online life that it's, you know, because I was on loads of dating apps. So I decided to take myself off everything. I've cut my life off on a lot of online life.
I did the same before I started to date my current girlfriend. It was just one night and I was in America and I'm like, fuck this, I'm just took them off. Same with Facebook. Since when I told you the last time that I took Facebook off, I just took it off. I'm still kind of like
you did your hiatus on Facebook.
So I didn't delete my account, but I just took the app off completely,
and it helps.
Yeah, I got to say when I was recovering in inverted commas, there was I didn't like I would always have been on Facebook. Like I was like Mr. Facebook. I would always be on it, posting stuff, rubbish, looking at stuff. I was glued to it. Loved it. And it was about a year when I did not pick it up. The only time I would ever go into Facebook was because I saw the notifications, the little red, just to clear them because it bothered me looking around. A whole year. And it got to the point where I completely got off Facebook. I had other issues. It wasn't like an active decision to go off Facebook, but the fact is I did go off it.
Sure.
And while I was off it, I always said to myself, when that day comes, when like I can sit here now and I'm totally chilled and go, I don't think I ever want to go back on Facebook. Like I've done, it's like when you quit smoking and you realize how addictive it was. So, and I was adamant. And in the past, I'd say from about when I went back to the office to actually start working, when I became more social and I started, you know, talking to more people and hanging out a bit more with other people. And slowly, I got back into Facebook. Like, it was just like, I'll have a look. Because my mind wasn't as occupied with other stuff that I was worrying about. So it was more clear. So to fill up that gap, I was like, TV's rubbish. I look at my phone. To now, where I'm just as hooked on Facebook as I was before the year when I just went off it. And it's from having that break and going back and just to see how addictive it is.
But you're obviously seeing it from a different point of view now. So you're obviously looking at it from a point of view where you've had the time away from it and you're kind of looking at it completely different now. You know, where you're kind of a bit more, you're more aware of your online kind of life and your activity and stuff. Where for me, I would be like going, I go home, my phone is off for a while. I'm like, you want me? You'll get me when I'm ready. Do you know, I consciously,
right attitude.
Turn my phone off for
that is the right attitude.
Absolutely.
2 to 3 hours in the evening, where I'm either making dinner or I'm out for a run or I'm doing my own thing. The phone has to go off. It has to. You want me? You know, you call me whenever. I'll call you back, or I'll contact you back, or I'll look at Facebook or whatever. I am on Facebook since 2006. And when I joined Facebook, when I left the ships and stuff that I worked on, it was only a few of us that were on it. And I'm on it since that period of time. And only I've seen the evolution of it with friends and people that I know and coming on to it over years and years and years. And like, even though I don't post very much on it, and when I do post, it would be very music based. I don't do much personal stuff on it. And I might comment on lots of different things, whatever. But at the same time, I would consciously make that decision of staying off it. And I do think people need to do that as well. I'm just saying that from my point of view. And Shane, you can talk about it because you went off it for a while. How do you feel about it?
Well, for me, it was a case of I went off it to get a hiatus because I just quite simply it didn't provide value in terms of for me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I said this in the last episode or the whatever episode where I found that you scroll. Funny meme. That is funny. Tag someone in it. You get a little giggle, but you get 2 seconds worth of emotional entertainment out of it, you know? Yeah. But then you scroll. But in the end, for the amount of work that I was doing, but consuming at the same time, be it advertisement or propaganda in some shape or form, I just realized, like, wait, for that funny meme, which is mostly what I'm looking for, or an interesting report, I actually did 20 minutes worth of work for 4 seconds worth of return.
Yeah,
that's
of course,
the best way to put it. Yeah. And that was one of the main reasons. But then I found I felt a little bit out of touch in the sense, but I think that's just all for pre-programmed, like that to give you that sense of out of touch, because I still had Messenger. So anybody that was looking for me, because they say it's like, oh, I want to keep in touch. They could have kept in touch through Messenger because they could have found my name on Facebook and sent me a message, but just not my account. But then now that I've gone back onto it, what I have done is I've removed the app, but I just go through my browser on the phone, which means I have to do a bit of type and a bit of clicking. That kind of hinders me from going on it. So I think that's an okay balance.
Kind of like from cigarettes to rollies.
Yeah, kind of like that, exactly. So it helps.
Doesn't work.
No. I'm
you
still on
smoke.
it.
I just have to type more.
So,
I get it.
That helps a little bit. So I scroll, and then that's it. It's hard to describe though, but it's weird how it's after living with it for so long that it gives you the sense of, wait, I'm missing something, but that's not fucking true at all. Because I've been a little bit more busy on Twitter with our account, of the Random Urban Memories account.
Which I love. I love Twitter.
Yeah,
I mean, I
have to say, I find it a bit more interested. It's a bit more.
It's more kind of
specified for whatever it takes.
I need to know. I'm a total Twitter virgin. I have absolutely. I've never had any interaction.
Well,
with
I look at Twitter as more of a social culture sort of a thing. It's social culture. It's pop culture. It's whatever genre you're into, whatever interest you have, whether it be soccer, rugby. You know, you have. There's everybody that's out there that has like Twitter accounts. You can reply, you can send them direct messages, you can send anybody a direct message, you can send Trump a direct message if you even want it. But the thing is, Twitter is very good to get the feedback from what people are talking about, maybe what might be an issue that's going on. Like this morning on my feed that popped up, there was a shooting in California this morning, and Twitter just went crazy. Just the Twitter feed just went crazy. Yeah. While moving to Instagram I only use now and again. Do you know, I don't use it all the time. I'll use it if I'm going somewhere or whatever. But you have so many accounts for so many different things. Do you know? Like Facebook's a very personal thing. You know, your personal life's up there on Facebook. Yeah. Plus you have that kind of whole life of, you know, people are looking at this beautiful life that you have, and, you know, there's so many people out there enjoying, you know, nights out and things and big events and all this kind of stuff. So that's all people are seeing on your Facebook page, that everything that you're doing is amazing and fabulous.
Oh, on Instagram,
yeah. So that's the way, you know.
Yeah, even Facebook. Facebook, like,
also,
you know,
it's an offshoot kind of thing, you know. But Fakestagram kind of thing is like, it's an idealized version of what you're doing right now. Because this, like, on Facebook, generally speaking, or how it started would have been like a picture of a big ass ribeye steak or some, I don't know, 2 pound bunch of ribs or something like that. But now it's high class 2 pound ribs with a filter on it. And with some yoga fucking quote underneath. You get what I'm saying?
It's a hashtag.
It's all hashtag, exactly. So it's kind of like, when you eat those ribs, make sure you eat them to the best of your ability, because tomorrow is new. And you're kind of sitting there going, whoa, that's some pseudo fucking wisdom right there, man. Yeah. You're about to eat fucking 3.5 kilos of ribs. Shut the fuck up. Enjoy it. So let's know. But its platform, you know.
Yeah.
Whereas Facebook is just like a carpet bombing.
It's a melting pot of everything. It is.
They're all offshoots, though, ish, from the concept, the social concept.
But I think Facebook kind of like affects people more because Facebook is very pretty much your friends and family.
Yes.
Yeah.
So then you can relate to it kind of like in a more negative way because let's say if I look at Instagram and I see like top models, rappers, fucking, I don't know, politicians, sportsmen, and all of this. I'm like, okay, so these are people not in my circle. These are people who are millionaires, I don't care. I know that they are living good life because they are making this amount of money, so it's fine. So it doesn't affect me in that way. But if I go to Facebook and you start to look at Facebook and you're like, oh, fuck, like everybody's out on Friday nights. Fuck, everybody's out on fucking Saturday
That's
night.
what I'm saying.
Snapchat is even worse. It's like you can literally see it at that point when they're on fucking Snapchat, and that's all you see. It's like
you're getting duck faces everywhere.
Like there's like a group of fucking 15 people from customer service went out, and they're like all like off their heads,
and then
you're
you're
like,
wondering why you weren't invited.
Is it better now? I still sound very...
You need to keep the mic about this distance away from you. Literally.
No, but I can't hear myself. Isn't better now?
Then I'll turn up your headphone.
Is it better now?
No, keep the pop filter on.
Now?
Now.
I just sound like in a box.
Can you hear yourself?
I can hear myself, but it's like a very boxy.
I can hear you. You sound clear. Yeah,
you sound clear. Right.
So what I was going to say, it's like, if you think about it, just take it off because it just bothers me. And I had like two glasses of wine already, and I get aggressive, man. But when you start to think about it, when you look at that, then it kind of like impacts people more because then people are like, oh, I'm fucking outside of this fucking thing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm at home watching fucking Netflix, da. And then you're like I'm missing on, like that. Yeah. That's when you start to have the feeling of missing on something because, like, I was out of training because of like I was busy, I was sick, da. I didn't have chance to train, and then I missed the Christmas training, which is like the most funniest part of jiu-jitsu in our club for Christmas.
Do you dress up in Santa hats and?
Yeah, like you have like Christmas socks and all of this, like, so it's like. It's funny. It's like it's a lot of fucking. It's a lot of fucking fun.
I don't even have to be there. That's funny.
Yeah. And
just
and
a
then
dojo.
Then I didn't make it. Yeah, and I didn't make it to it. And then I just saw the pictures, and I felt like I'm missing out on this. But it was because I wasn't in those pictures, or I didn't see it on. I saw it on fucking Facebook. Yeah. Not the reality that I wasn't there, that I couldn't have been there for real reasons. Yeah. So then you start to kind of like think it's like this is a fucking brainwash completely. Yeah. So like then that's when you start to be like, oh fuck this, I just uninstall it completely.
But I'm convinced in the future, and not too long in the distant future, that there's going to be like social media rationing. Like they're going to find there's going to be like the psychological effects of this, which are unknown now. Yeah. That in like, say, maybe 20, 30 years' time, they'll be seeing signs of people in their 60s that, were like immersed in it and just having like these issues. It's going to be a whole new
generational after effects.
Yeah. It's the whole thing about like,
It's social interaction as well. That's going to be playing a massive part of it.
As well.
Where, what I said earlier, people are so glued to their phones that normal social interaction, which we all need, is going to depart from itself, if you get me. Yeah. And it's going to come to a point where we'll be so departed from each other because we're online all the time that it's something that'll give. Something has to give.
But I kind of disagree. Hang on, I'm just going to say, I always think, and maybe I'm just being optimistic, but I always feel that humans, it's in human nature to want to physically meet up.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I don't think social media is gonna
replace it,
mess that up. Let me say it another way. When it comes to like social interaction, when we're talking about like FaceTime or Skype, someone in another location that you care about or you don't care about, whoever it is, yeah, technology's great. You can be in your living room. You don't have to get on that flight or that train or drive for 3 hours. You could be on a business trip and still, you know, not to sound like the corny advert that's out at the moment. You can see a kid at your kid's birthday party, whatever. Yeah, no, that's cool. That's amazing. But when it comes to like social media, interacting in the sense like telling other people about, like instead of meeting up at having a coffee face to face, and going, oh, I did this, I did that, you're posting it. I still don't think that's going to last. And even if it does, whether you're going to invent that to make yourself look good if you're in person, or whether you're going to type it out so somebody knows that, so you're not verbally saying it with your voice, it's essentially the same thing. At the end of the day, you're just breaking that physical barrier of lying to someone to make it's like when someone says, hi, how you doing? You're like, oh, great, yeah, how you doing? You're not. You might be having a shitty day. It's exactly the same thing. But that's what I'm trying to say is that social interaction with humans, it's always going to be there. It's not just because we have social media that we feel more compelled to sort of...
Well, there'll always be social interaction. It's just, I think it would be just detached a bit, you know, where we will kind of get to a point where we'll need to come back to it again. That's what I'm saying.
I think what might happen is, to build on James's point, in the way that, you know, the way every generation complains about something or other, like that's famous excerpt from a paper in which somebody complained that kids were going to be using quills or whatever because chalkboard was the way to go.
Sure.
But every generation is bullshit, whatever. But what I think is happening now is we seem that we're a kind of social era spanning generation as we are now. But we have to think of, you know, kids of, well, even as of 10 years of age now. They're going to see the world entirely different because, like, we're kind of sitting there, and I have this argument with so many people about, like, the whole, like, the smelling of a book and the reading of a book has something or other. And, you know, absolutely, I agree, because I grew up reading books, and I would buy books that I want to physically keep. Yeah. But turn that around. If I never knew books, and I only was giving, for example, a tablet.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
As long as I can absorb the information given to me, then so be it. Because how did you feel the old tribal storytellers or the old village storytellers or the village seer felt when the fucking printing press came along? You get what I'm saying, yeah? Apart from the church being mad as fuck. This is what I'm talking about. And what's happening now with social interactions is, on the one hand, we're kind of like, oh man, we're all detaching. Yes, we are. On one hand, we definitely are, because we quite simply don't need to put any effort into actually meeting, because we can meet instantly. But if you see what the kids today, here we go with the age again, the kids today are doing, they're holding 18 in-depth and very connected conversations at the same time through 6 or 7 platforms, but quite deeply. And each and every one of them with their own depth, I guess, and emotional need or whatever it is. With one friend, you're Snapchatting bullshit pictures. With the next one, you might be messaging quite seriously about whatever through Viber. Then through Messenger, you're doing something entirely different and instructing somebody. And they're doing this simultaneously. So hats off to that. That means they're learning a new way of communication. But what I think how it's going to evolve to is you won't have as large a circle of friends from an earlier age. Because, you know, when you're older, you generally don't have 150,000 friends. You generally have your town, your village, or your area, your street, whatever. But the real true friends is relatively small, actually, realistically.
Yeah.
I think that's going to focus earlier in life, but it's going to become possibly more connected and in depth, as in those friends that you do hang out with are going to be really closer.
It's very philosophical, with the sound of it, you know, because I'm a Generation X girl, do you know what I mean? You guys are a different generation to me even, you know, so I'm coming from the area of there was no internet ever back when I was, you know, there was no internet ever. Do you know, it's
James concurs.
Okay, James, do you agree?
So,
but I think it's great what you're looking at. You're probably right.
It blows my mind. I can't. I have to really think about there not being internet. And what was I doing?
Having
what
a
were
life.
we doing?
I was having a life.
Yeah, but kids today are having a life.
But you are doing the same thing. But
I was traveling the
But this is
world.
the thing.
I was having
Like,
a great
I think
time.
that you need to kind of like also differentiate between, because social media, right? So social.
I did a lot of
So
my
when you talk about texting someone over WhatsApp, over Messenger, and all of this, that's a conversation, or a discussion. Social media is something else. Social media is generating content for a platform.
Oh yeah.
So you are basically
pushed.
pushed. So you are basically pushed by the platform to create to create content. Because let's say you see Katrina is posting pictures, Shane is posting pictures, James is posting pictures. So I'm like, fuck my life. I'm just gonna start to post more pictures and more funnier, funnier, and fucking more. I want to get more likes than them, and I'm getting fucking thrill out of the likes because I get more likes. People like me, right? So this is the problem that they have, and it's like
dopamine. It's digital dopamine.
Yeah, exactly. And this is where the addiction problem comes in, and then people are like, oh fuck, like it's like it's same thing as drugs. So like you try if you are an addict, like a normal addict, normally you will try multiple drugs. That's why people try different platforms.
Yeah,
multiple ones. That's why you are saying that, okay, well, they have 18 different conversations through 18 different platforms.
but they're getting 18 different buzzes.
Exactly. Yeah. But then the problem is that, like, so technically, like, the brain is only set for, like, 1, 2, 3, maybe interactions at the same time. If you have, like, fucking 18, you will get lost in it completely.
But that's what I'm saying.
Imagine this is just a conversation with someone.
But that's
what
I'm saying. That's the evolution. How I think it's going to go.
Yeah.
But it'll settle because social media is in its infancy, and like you said, there's going to be generational issues come along that we're not even aware of. But it'll settle, just like anything else new. It'll come to a settlement where it's kind of like, okay. You know, that kind of thing. It's just right now we're witnessing both ends from the beginning of it and now where we're at now. Yeah. And it is baffling though. It is. And you're right, that whole addiction thing or whatever. Those
I have a link actually. I have a link
that.
on the spreadsheet for like tech parents. I think tech parents are decreasing limiting the amount of screen time for kids.
Yeah,
because like they know how, and there was some research done about it, and it's literally like the nerds from freaking Silicon Valley and all of this are putting down like limiting children to have the screen time on this and like to use LED platforms and all this. Yeah. It's just like crazy, like you know, when like let's say a lot of parents just give the kid a fucking tablet and it's just like, yeah, just go off just so they can watch their TV. So the kid is not bothering them with their fucking, what is it? The Dora goes on the, whatever you call it. I don't know. I'm not there yet. But, you know, so they can just focus on this and the kid is focused on this. And there's no interaction between them saying it's like, oh yeah, let's watch
That's
Dora
true.
together or something like that.
That's true.
You know?
That is true, David. But I mean, you got to remember, like, when I was a kid, like, if you want to do a parallel, and I'm sure you as well. Like, I mean, I don't know, loads of parents that would put on a TV show, the Muppets or whatever. Essentially, it's just a distraction to have some peace.
Oh yeah. No, like, but they would be watching it probably together, no? Or they would just put it on something else.
Well, yeah, I'm not saying like parents and kids should be completely like separated. Yeah, and should always be like, "Hey, kid, go away and leave me alone."
I'll message you.
Yeah. I'll text you when dinner's ready. You know.
The tablet goes off.
We're laughing now. We're laughing now.
I don't. That's what's going to happen.
Yeah. No, I see what you're saying, but I think
by the way, I'm not going to make the dinner. It will be the iDinner robot.
Someone else will make my dinner. An Uber driver will deliver it. And when they're outside, I'll get a notification. And I can't wait for drones to deliver my takeaway.
Oh,
just because it will happen one day. It'll be Domino's drone pizza, and it will just be like your phone will beep. You'll open the front door, and there'll be a drone hovering outside of a pizza. Yeah, and when that day comes,
which won't be too far away.
Yeah.
It's not going to
Like normal small parcel deliveries will start.
In Australia, in the outback,
they're already testing that.
DHL in London is already testing.
In Australia, they're doing outback post deliveries by drone.
Yeah, but big
That's
drones.
It's cheaper. It's cheaper
Crazy.
than get a driver or a helicopter to bring it
True.
out.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Solar powered drones.
Okay, let's just all take a second to absorb all of this information.
Yeah, we've had it's quite an extensive conversation going on there.
Right, we got another about 6 to 8 minutes. So if there's anything else,
Padding.
what pattern?
We've got 6 to 8 minutes to pad out.
If we go deep, man.
Are we going deep now?
First 3 hour podcast on Rumbles.
Well, to tie in with all of this social media usage or whatever, one thought that I would have had was, nope, this is another podcast actually. No, I'm not going to bring it up. I was going to say big data.
Big data.
Just say it now.
In which every one of us freely gives away information in the way that you couldn't even imagine at the beginning of when people became more social through email and AOL and whatnot.
Yes, of course, yeah.
And you had the cases.
AOL.
Do you remember you used to make up fake emails and fake addresses just so you could sign up for bullshit?
Oh yeah,
Bob
Yeah?
Hotmail.com.
Do you remember that?
fake dates.
And it's it was pretty much Facebook as such, not even Bebo, but it was Facebook as such that has revolutionized in it, where we now literally don't mind telling people and tag ourselves in the Portaloo in wherever the hell you
exactly,
were.
Yeah.
And I remember being like, "Oh, you're never gonna know who the fuck I am. Get the fuck away from me." This is John
My name
XX.
My name is John Dick. That's how I always call myself.
Is that who you are?
On PlayStation. On PlayStation 4, like I have like it in Slovak, like just John Dick. Yeah, but like in Slovak.
But it's amazing.
sounds
And
better.
now we're throwing information at them. And by the way, I don't know if you saw it, but my comment on Facebook when I came back was literally, I feel that I haven't, that Facebook has not sold enough data of mine, so I thought I would help them along. Because not only through the data breaches and not only through the incredible amounts of information being sold, harvested, and the fact that they were adding in spyware and the terms and conditions were very vague and whatnot. They were now selling information to some of our favorite apps, or they were giving data and the insight into our fucking messages, which we knew they were being monitored, but they were selling that information to Netflix and Spotify. So even our favorite apps were buying that information. So everything that we put out there, it is literally an information economy.
Without our permission.
Nope. If you say yes, you add permission. Exactly. There's always some vagueness in there, even though these ones now were a bit shady.
Yeah.
We're now coming to an age where literally the commodity is data. It is information, because the more you can target ads, the more specific you can target ads. And this goes, this includes entire elections. We vowed not to talk about Trump, and we won't. But the Russians managed to stir up so much shit, and it's happening in Europe right now. I was listening to a very interesting podcast by Sam Harris about this, from an information analyst and cybersecurity analyst, and they found all these trolls, these troll farms and whatnot, and they were interfering, and all they did was, because, like you said, this connection to social media, this feeling of this outrage economy that we have anyway. But here you are in your bubble, and the algorithm, well-intentioned, as in like, we'll get more stuff that you like, which basically means how much more can we get you addicted, because we'll only show you things that you like. So, but once you go down that dark path, then you've got Facebook pages and all that whatever being suggested, which means if you're a blatant racist, then you're going to go to pages that go with everything that you say. And these troll farms were literally instigating protests that didn't actually happen, but they were on the right and the left. So these people would meet on the streets, and they never existed. There was no organizers. It's proper troll farms. Yeah. And this investigator actually talked to some of these guys. It's very, very good. Let's see if I can get the name just right now. But it was incredible, and that's my point. We're giving out so much information, which is nearly going to be impossible to stop. But that has become an economy in itself. It is literally shaping every aspect of what we do. Information, legislation, determination. It's incredible. It's incredible what's happening, and people, and that was actually going to be a sticking point of 2018, and we're all affected at any given stage.
But does it bother you?
See, this is the weird thing about it.
Genuinely. No. I'm not being like sarky. Or,
Yeah.
No.
Like, I've had this conversation with someone else before, and I go, I don't care. They can have as much information if, you know.
Yeah.
I would care if I wasn't aware of it. But if I was aware that this was happening, and I, in the terms and conditions, went, yeah, all right, whatever. Okay. Like, what's the worst that can happen?
James,
I think
Maybe I'm being ignorant.
I think it's...
James, I completely, it's that weird dichotomy. I have an Alexa, and guess what the fuck that thing is doing? It is listening.
Yeah.
It is
Yeah.
listening.
Yeah.
It is gathering. It is analyzing through AI.
Become
Yeah.
self-aware.
Soon.
Yeah. Go on.
Knowing what I know, but I
At the
still
end
bought
of the
it.
day, you can just switch the whole lot off. You
But,
can if you want. Do you know?
It's like, but it's the same thing. But
You
like, I
switch
think
it
it's the same
all
thing. It's like,
win.
because people in general think that they cannot be brainwashed. However, there is a lot of brainwashed people who I think
There is. There's so
who
many.
I think that yes, there will be some dumb people who will. It's easy to get them brainwashed because, like, let's say they're young, they're not experienced, da 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 da. However, the problem is that there is a bigger part of those people, or some part of that group, who is technically intelligent, who is da da da. You know, like that they understand that they never thought that they will be brainwashed. I guarantee you that of those Russian trolls, of whatever it is, whether we got brainwashed about fucking. What I also put into our links is Home Alone, fucking brainwashing, that you think that Home Alone is a super Christmassy movie because all you see is like green and red colors.
Yeah. Okay.
They did that on purpose.
But it's
You
set at
don't think that
Christmas.
you are gonna get but you don't think that you are gonna get brainwashed. Same. That's what you are saying. But like they will do it in a way that you will do it in the end. Or like you will think something in some sort of way.
Yeah.
You want
It's like someone tells you. So let's say if you're watching Fox News, where you think that it's like, okay, so this channel is like bullshit. But if you watch something on RTE, you will be like, oh yeah, RTE is fucking national TV, so I should be fucking believing them, right?
Yeah.
So you just do it
Fox
automatically
News
by
is
yourself.
Fox News, guys.
But
Fox
yeah,
News,
well, that's one.
Fox News is Fox
But
News.
the art of discerning information is understanding that you are fallible and biased. That is so important. Understanding it helps you with critical thinking.
Absolutely,
and
100%.
Taking apart fake news. But it takes a strong person to actually turn around and realize, when you read a scientific study or an outcome of a study or whatever, and it doesn't reach what you want it to, and then you turn around and be like, I believe that. That's shit. I'm not going to, you know what? I'm going to ignore parts of this. The fact that all humans do this, but to be aware of it is how you get around it.
Sure.
You know what I mean? And that's the main thing.
Yeah, it's the same. So
We're
think
all
about it.
biased. We're all susceptible. We're all human.
So the reason why I was saying it's like, okay, so it's easy to brainwash dumb people.
Yeah.
Now, because I was watching a clip from Al Jazeera, and they were showing like a right-wing movement in Hungary.
I love that channel.
And it's actually on YouTube. Like you can watch they have like, I don't know how you call it, like reportage in English.
Segments.
Like
Segments
segments
of
of like, literally like a short documentary, like 30 minutes. So they were showing like the right-wing movement and all of this. And they had doing like the interviews with all of these young guys. And one of them is like, oh yeah, you know, like they start to talk about like how, you know, immigrants coming in and like how they want to protect like their nation, da-da-da-da-da. And then he says one sentence there, and he's like, "Oh, you know, like because like all of the like the Eastern European economy, like and especially Hungarian, is like we are all controlled by Jews and all of this, and like you know they start to go into this neo-Nazi kind of like rhetorical thing there where they say it's like they always blame and they are very xenophobic." And I look around and I'm like, I want to know like, how many fucking Jews do you know? Just simple thing. If I would be the reporter, I would be like, tell me how many do you know personally? Like I don't know that. Like maybe I know a few, but like I know the a family that were a friend, but you wouldn't know them in a way that you would be like, oh, they're like this kind of group would be affecting my life that much.
Yeah,
But they are so brainwashed
Yeah.
because some guy who is their leader said this.
Just look at Trump supporters.
Yeah, but that's exactly what I'm saying. That it's like, they're doing it in this small group of like few hundred people in Hungary. Look at Trump, who is using all of this Twitter and all of these fucking news and like, like there is like his press conferences and his rallies and all of this. And these people are educated. These are not people who are like fucking coming out of boxing gym. No, I'm not saying that boxing gyms have a lot of like, right wingers, but
They've had their brains bashed.
But they
I know
have,
what you mean. Yeah,
like it's a specific group of people who go there, right? And Republicans are not all of them are dumb,
Oh God, no.
right?
They're capitalists. They're
Yeah,
financialists.
of course.
Exactly.
Yeah, they're
And they
100%.
still
They're
believe
top
him,
ranking. Yeah,
and they still believe him, and they still voted
Yeah,
for him.
absolutely.
And I guarantee you, some people who were like inclined to democratic, still voted for him.
Yeah,
also,
but I'd say they have ulterior motives.
Yeah.
I think they voted for him because they're clever and they realize that.
But there's a chain reaction. Present that to your constituents, the local ones, or as a business leading business person. That's how you sell it. But all you have to do is adjust the tone. Yeah. If you're somebody who's more simply inclined, as in like you work, I don't know, you go to the pub afterwards, you sit at home and eat dinner or whatever, and complain about the world. That's fine. But all I need to do to trigger you into action is to turn around and say, the foreigners are coming, they're taking our women and jobs, and that's enough for you to get fired up. But for more discerning and intelligent people, is you need to give an argument, a appeal to intelligence, to turn around and say, by the way, have you noticed the economy going down by 2%? Whatever, and you're like, wait a minute,
this is
what
exactly
does that mean?
what they were saying. Exactly the same thing.
Little
But
funnel.
politicians, instead of blaming it on themselves for fucking up all of the economies of Eastern Europe, they need to find a group to blame. So they're like, it's like, who would be the best group to blame? So then they just come up with like fucking immigrants. Then they say, oh yeah, Soros or whatever his name is, George Soros, the it's like, oh, and the Jews and all of this. There was one guy who is a political commentator in Hungary, and he was saying that how politicians are basically going on or brainwashing people, it's very easy in Eastern Europe, because what they do is they know that genetically or throughout the generations we have been occupied by Ottomans, by, let's say, Mongols, fucking Romans, and all of this.
Easy triggers, easy targets.
So then they're like, in their genetics, they have coded to say, oh, there will be another wave of like,
they're coming.
Intruders or something like that.
Doesn't matter
or
who it
something like
is.
that. So then they're like, oh yeah, so the easiest how to get people on it, or to fear, or to make them scared, is to say that, oh, somebody's fucking coming.
Yeah.
Somebody's going to take your job. Somebody's going to take your wife. Somebody's going to take your fucking whatever.
It's going to be computers.
It's just actually all of us will come together.
There you go.
Yeah,
It's going to be computers, guys. You can talk all
Nice
you like.
one.
I'm listening to everything that you're
Yeah.
At the end of the day,
It
computer,
will be.
like you said,
AI.
your Domino's drone has just arrived. So that's what's going to happen,
Yeah.
regardless of what
James,
you say.
it can deliver the food, but it can withhold it.
Exactly.
By the way, it won't be
seconds to
it won't be
comply.
pizza. It will be a pill that will make you full like
Your
after
card is
pizza.
declined. Your card is declined.
Well, guys, listen, we went heavy. We didn't stick to the plan at all, but
No
it's been
plan.
actually very insightful.
Yeah, it's
That's the
been
nice
very
thing
cool.
about it, and that's why we are Random Urban Memories. I just want to thank you guys from the heart and sincerely again, Kat, James, and David, for being here. And do you know what? We got to do this again. Maybe like a quarterly catch-up on shit that's been going on. But it's always a pleasure. It's always a pleasure having you guys listen. And just to let you know, we now have the opportunity to be monetized. So as you've noticed, we will be hearing, or you will be hearing ads. And this gives us an opportunity to improve equipment and improve the podcast as such, right up until the point that we can afford helicopters, then fuck all of you.
But I will say to the listeners as well out there, if you guys want to give us topics to talk about,
Please.
or if there's any insight or any input into these podcasts, please help us. We're all on the social media platforms like we talked about earlier, but it would be pretty good. So you read it out, Shane.
Hit us at rumboys with a Z 101@gmail.com. Send us your suggestions.
.com.
What?
That sounded legal.
Winky.
So send us
Wiki
requests or
emoji.
whatever.
Congo
You can find
domain.
us on absolutely any social media platform, because we're literally all addicted and communicating at 16 platforms altogether because we don't like to talk to each other, but some days we will again. Connect with us. Let us know any suggestions, ideas, things you want to talk about. Hit us up.
Tell us which bed tablets are the best for your kid and stuff like that. So
That's it. All right.
we can plan.
And go vaccinate your goddamn fucking kids. Stop your pseudoscience. God damn it. Because we now have swine flu.
Yeah, swine flu has like
It's back.
200 cases in Ireland already.
4 people died already.
Fear.
Whoa.
Yeah.
More fear.
Yeah,
Damn.
must be the Ottomans.
We love you. Hey!
Where are you from? Where are you from, man?
You managed to listen to the Rum Boys talk on Random Urban Memories. Just like and subscribe where you can on all platforms.